The brand new Dragon Ball game, Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, has been out for a couple days now, and I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm addicted. Which is saying something because I've never played a Moba before this, and I was worried it wouldn't click with me, but boy was I wrong. But with it being a brand new Dragon Ball game I'm playing, and with me having the perspective of a non-Moba player, it made complete sense to tell you guys my early impressions, such as what I like, don't like, and what I hope and expect for the future. But before I get into all that, make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. I know I'm a small YouTuber now, but hopefully one day I won't be, and you can say you're an OG of my channel. But hoping we get to 2,000 subs, and with that said, I'm here with Kaizen, and let's get straight into it. Firstly, I have literally lost sleep because I wanted to stay up playing this game. It's a lot of fun, and it's satisfying to play. And since it's free and damn near on everything, rip Xbox players by the way, you obviously need to give it a try. That's the short answer. But now let's go through some good things, then the bad. Now the overall Dragon Ball charm and aesthetic is captured so beautifully that it makes me genuinely happy playing this game as a huge Dragon Ball fan. The voice work and dialogue, and even the small interactions like between KO and Caulifla, capture the feel of the actual characters so well. Even things like Vegeta annoying me by insulting me for healing in the back is so accurate to his character. It doesn't just feel like a MOBA with a Dragon Ball skin, it feels like the actual Dragon Ball characters in a MOBA, and that is beautiful to me. Not to mention the gorgeous art style, which gives me the manga vibes and shows the personality of the characters really well. But enough about that stuff, I know you want to hear about the gameplay, so let's talk about it. Now I don't want this vid to be a whole tutorial, it's more to give you an idea, and also for those of you who may have tried the game but don't know much, there's 3 character types. There's damage, tank, and technical. The first 2 are exactly what you'd expect from any game like this, or any like team-based game. There's a damage type, there's the tank type. You know exactly what they are. One is meant to do damage as much as possible, one is meant to tank as many hits as possible and keep the team busy. That's a simplified way of explaining it, but you get the idea. Now the third one is technical. This can range a little. There are some characters like I think Majin Buu who specializes in just healing, as well as some other debuffs of course. But there are characters that focus on buffs and debuffs more so than healing. The characters do have difficulty usage ratings, which intimidated me at first and led me to using Goku, who's not only one of the best but also the easiest starter characters. But then I tried Kale, who's supposedly one of the hardest characters yet. It didn't take me long to understand her kit pretty well. The real challenge stems from using their kits efficiently, such as landing their different moves consecutively in a way that complements each other. Like one of her moves, I believe when you press L2 on the PS5 controller, launches a ball, right, like an energy ball, and if you land another move after that like her beam attack, that ball reacts to it. This really makes the kit feel really well made and satisfying when you land it well. Also, after realizing it's not that hard, I do completely understand how this game isn't just a super simplified version of League, which I've seen a lot of people say, but even compared to Pokemon Unite, it's pretty simple. If you're like me and have avoided those games like the plague, this is nowhere near as intimidating or hard to get into. It also might be a refreshing, simpler time for you active MOBA players. Now let's talk about customization, which is pretty important for a free live service game like this. The customization is pretty good, with even some unique costumes not from the show, something we've complained about in other Dragon Ball games. I mean, just look at this Caulifla outfit. Yeah, it might just be Fasha's fit, but imagine the possibilities this means for the future outfits. You can also get emotes and entrance animations and things like that, as well as unlock the characters themselves. Or you could just pay. Personally, I haven't paid, but haven't had much issues at all unlocking characters. I mean, I unlock them fairly fast, and if you're like me, you probably don't intend to play every character anyways. I mean, yeah, I'd like to try them, but actively playing, I don't intend to play all of them. The objective's pretty simple, but I'll sum it up. 2 lanes, destroyers on each side that you have to destroy, but can only attack when Zeno makes them vulnerable. Once you defeat all the destroyers on the enemy's team, you then have to capture the Dragon Ball. There's also bots scattered all around the map, which give you XP when you beat them and levels you up, making your moves stronger, and for some characters like Goku, it unlocks transformations. When at the start of the match, you need to beat these to unlock your full kit. Sometimes there's mini bosses that give you extra XP and can also hurt the enemies, like beating Android 16, making him cause an explosion. This is a really summed up explanation, but you get the idea. And like I said before, the gameplay is super satisfying. I hope they add more KO animations, especially dual KO animations, where you and a teammate beat an opponent. Now let's talk about the downsides and some hopes I have for the future of this game. So a little minor gripe that I've been seeing people talk about on Twitter, I guess this comes with the state of gaming, and that is the lack of missions. But this could be just a season 0 thing, like I've seen other people say. It could just be because the game is brand new, but there's like a lack of objectives. You do them pretty quickly, like the beginner missions, like try all 3 character types twice or something like that, playing 2 matches a day, very simple stuff like that. You get through them probably in the first day or 2. And to this I really just say, play the game for the enjoyment of the game. But I do understand that this is something that's really common in gaming nowadays, like people want an objective to play, which I kind of get, but just remember to enjoy the game. But also I do think this will change over time. I mean, this is like season 0, right? So we'll definitely get more of these in the future. But the real issue with this game right now is network errors. And this isn't just me, because I've seen a lot of people saying this online, including pretty big YouTubers like Crex, who definitely have good internet. I mean, the other day I crashed out of multiple matches in one day, and I know it wasn't just my internet. And I don't know what's worse, crashing out in the middle of a match where you're playing good, or not even being able to load into a match, which I've seen other people say, which hasn't happened to me yet, but I can see the frustration, of course. But I will say, since the other day, I've had far less issues. In fact, I haven't crashed out of a single match. I know other people are saying there's like matchmaking issues. That might be a case of if you're playing in a full party, it takes longer to find a match. I don't know if that's the case, but just based on the streamers that I've watched play this game, when they're in a full party of 3 or 4 people, they do struggle to find matches more, or at least it takes longer. But that's not too much of an issue, because one thing I forgot to mention earlier in this video during the good aspects of the game was the fact that it has perfect crossplay. Did I mention that? I can't remember if I mentioned that, but yeah, the game has crossplay across all platforms. I know it's not on Xbox if I'm not mistaken yet, although that will probably change, but it's on mobile, it's on Android and iPhone, it's on Switch, it's going to be on Switch too obviously, it's on PlayStation, and you can crossplay across everything. And I believe it's cross accounts too, which is just amazing, and I wish every anime game had this. And that's going to be amazing for the longevity of this game, because let's say there's not enough people on PC. I believe there's like 10,000 or 8,000 people right now, which is still a fairly decent amount, right? Especially if the player base stays strong. But they don't need to worry at all, because they're going to play with a huge fan base or player base of PlayStation players, and I can't even imagine what the mobile player is going to look like. But yeah, network issues. As long as they continue to fix this over time, which I believe they have been doing, unless it's just me who's had a better experience in the last 2 days compared to when the game first came out, I think they're going to fix this. I mean, the game did launch a little suddenly, like it almost felt like this was another beta. I think they're going to have a full-on season 1, and we're going to see a lot of changes, as well as a lot of buffs and nerfs. Like, there's no way they don't nerf Goku, like he's just too good right now. And I know they already nerfed Krillin, but they might nerf him again. And there's some other characters that are kind of doo-doo right now. Like, I've seen a lot of people complain about Piccolo, although that might just be because he's hard to use on console. Now, of course, I want to talk about the future. Now, I've talked a little about how I want them to fix issues, but that's not really what I mean about the future. Of course, that's important too, but I'm talking about future content. Yeah, I talked about future missions, I know, but I'm talking about characters. I want to see them get creative characters. Obviously, I know everyone's going to say, yeah, we want blue Gogeta, we want blue Vegito, the obvious stuff, right? And I get that, and of course I want that too, but I want them to be creative and not just spam the best characters. I want them to spam like the more niche characters, and also be creative with the movesets, as well as the really beautiful and cool dialogue that this game has and captures their personalities really well. Like, one that comes to mind is Videl. I would love to see Videl, whether it's, you know, her younger self or her current adult self, her interactions with Gohan. Not to mention, we only have the kid Gohan right now, which is crazy, the least interesting version of Gohan, but I know they're playing it smart. They're saving the better versions of the characters for the future. I mean, we only have like the small baby Vegeta, and we only have the good Buu, the fat Buu. So I'm sure we'll get different versions like Super Buu and Kid Buu and all those guys. We'll get the final form baby Vegeta. I'm sure we'll get Super Saiyan 4, but also, you know, Super Saiyan 3, different movesets and whatnot for each one, because clearly the movesets are quite nuanced and work really well. And this game is by Gambarian, I think that's how it's pronounced, which is a good game studio. Now, I've seen people debating on how often they expect characters to come out. I've seen some people saying like 2 characters a month. As much as I would love that, I just don't see them doing that. I do see them going more so towards the My Hero Ultra Rumble route, which I believe is like 1 character every 6 or every 8 weeks, so like once every 2 months. But what they also do, which is pretty cool, is they add an alternative moveset version of each character. For example, let's say, you know how we have Super Saiyan Goku right now? Maybe they don't add a new Goku, like it's still a Super Saiyan Goku, but a new kit, which I think would be pretty cool. Obviously they don't have to do that now. That's only good for, like, you know, so that they don't have to keep running out of characters. I don't see them running out of characters anytime soon. I mean, Dragon Ball is huge. Like, just think of all the niche characters they could add, whether it's movies, which is part of the game. Don't forget Bojack's in the game. Also OG Dragon Ball, there's Daima, there's GT, Super, all of that good stuff. I know they can't touch on manga content, but you know, eventually, hopefully when Shueisha gets their stuff together and locks in, we'll get more anime. So, you know, manga stuff will be animated and there'll be more content for the games, of course. But yeah, I hope that they add characters every 6 to 8 weeks and eventually add alternate movesets for characters, just to maintain more longevity, so that they don't feel like they're spamming characters and running out of characters, because they'll have the alternate movesets as well that they can release instead of new characters. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, not just spamming all the anniversary characters like Blue Gogeta and stuff like that. Add characters like Videl, Goten, Trunks. Also, I would love to see the teen Goten and Trunks from the superhero movie. I would love to see the outfits from like the superhero movie and all those other movies. There's also plenty of more support characters, which I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but there's like little support buffs that you can activate. Like if you activate Kaba, it increases your defense if you stay around him. Stuff like that. I could see them adding more supports, like, I don't know, Bulma, characters like that, Roshi. I could even see them adding Roshi as a character with a transformation. You could see that too, right? And he could do that Mafuba or whatever that seething move is, I forgot the name. That would be pretty good. Also, I would love to see them add unique duo KO animations, like if Kale and Khalifa KO someone, it has a unique animation, and eventually if they add Goten and Trunks, it has a unique animation. But I don't know if they'll do that. I hope they do though. It would make perfect sense. But yeah, that's my basic run through of how the game is so far, what I think of it, what issues I have with it, and what I hope for the future, as well as a summary of how the game works itself. But I do want you guys to let me know, do you plan to play this game? And if you've already played it, what do you think of it so far? Is it addictive, or did you not like it? Feel free to let me know and don't be shy. And since you've watched so far, you clearly like my content and want to see more on Gekishin Squadra, or just me in general. And I do videos on anime games like this and plenty of other stuff, so do hit that like button and that subscribe button to stay updated. I know I'm a small YouTuber now, but hopefully one day I'm a big channel and you can say you were an OG on my channel. And hope we get to 2,000 subs as soon as possible. But with that said, follow my Twitter in the description below. Check out my videos on screen now, I think you'll like them. I'll definitely do more Gekishin content in the future, and of course Sparking Zero as well. But with that said, I've been your boy Kaizen, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.